My name's Blizzard, and I'm a bullshitaholic.
Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Yes, I'm up here today. Hi, right in the middle of my boys. Hi Wyatt. Hi Alan. How you doing? Now, apologies for the lateness of this video. I live in the middle of nowhere, and we've come to that time of the year where power cuts happen all the time. So I've had a couple of power cuts today, and even when it came back on, the internet still was down. I think they had to fix the exchange. What's that? You don't care, you're just here for the shouting. Okay, no problem, we'll just get straight into it then. So this, I believe, was a press conference from 3 days ago at BlizzCon. And the reason why we're going to be discussing this is it's really telling. And it shows Blizzard's true motivations when it comes to not only Diablo Immortal, but also the potential future of Blizzard Entertainment. And as a purchaser of Blizzard games, I purchased Diablo 3, I purchased World of Warcraft, obviously, I purchased StarCraft 2, never played it, but as a huge Blizz fan back in those days, I thought they could do no wrong, and so, oh, they got a game coming out, I'll buy it anyway. And also, you know, I played Hearthstone, I have played a little bit of Heroes of the Storm, and whatnot, so, you know, I'm a player of Blizzard games, predominantly World of Warcraft. And the stuff which is said here today in this conference is very concerning for me. And we'll go through it. Some of it obviously makes sense, but in the same breath, their language that they use is still a cause for concern. But the very first thing we're going to listen to is, well, let's listen to it and then we'll go into it. I think it's quite important.
In terms of Blizzard's approach to mobile gaming, many of us over the last few years have shifted from playing primarily desktop to playing many hours on mobile. And we have many of our best developers now working on new mobile titles across all of our IPs.
Now, just as a purchaser of Blizzard games, this is really kind of worrying. Blizzard's primary audience is PC-based. Hearthstone is the one that you can stick onto the tablet, but you can also play it your PC. StarCraft 2, PC. Overwatch, PC. World of Warcraft, PC. Diablo, PC. I'm probably missing Heroes of the Storm, PC. They're all PC-based. This is predominant. And so we're hearing that their developers have... I've got to go down here, haven't I? I'm usually looking like that. Got to go like this. They're saying that their developers are moving away from playing PC and playing a lot more mobile. I don't believe that. And obviously this is a strong opinion. But I just find that is attempting to pander to the audience because this is a mobile product that they are trying to sell, as we'll discover, to the East and to kids in America, and essentially not to the audience of BlizzCon. But we'll get onto that in a wee bit's time. But also the fact that it's saying we're pulling our best developers off things and we're putting them onto mobile titles all across the board. Which is, again, very worrying indeed. And maybe, and I'm not legitimately being sarcastic here, maybe that's one of the reasons why Battle for Azeroth has been in such a poor condition. Because they are literally taking the best people for the job and moving them onto mobile. And so they're leaving products with maybe not the brightest and the best that are needed for these tasks. I don't know. But let's just scooch the footage on a wee bit and we get more of this conversation, and to me it gets even more worrying. So let's jump to here.
I will say also that we have more new products in development today at Blizzard than we've ever had in our history.
So, more products available that they've ever had in the history, and then...
Our future is very bright.
Our future is very bright. I kind of sounded like a threat. Alan, that sounded like a threat. And you sound like a serial killer. Yeah, there's lots of stuff in development. Nothing we want to talk about. Nothing we want to mention. Nothing. Just a nice generalistic overview of stuff. So he's trying to placate, people who may be concerned by saying, "Oh, don't worry, we'll work on other things," but at the same time, we're not going to, in any capacity, discuss or go into them.
As I understand the question, if it's about the maturity of the content, the Diablo Immortal for the mobile device is being designed so that everybody can play from all ages. And so where some of the PC products are mature rated, our goal is that this will not be mature rated.
So what this says is there is a fundamental shift in the whole tone of the IP. Diablo is a mature title. The imagery in Diablo 3 is quite disturbing, quite scary when you really think about it. And I remember, is it New Tristan or whatever, when you're outside and the front gate, it's just littered with bodies and corpses, and there's so many instances of that. And then, of course, you have the demons, and you have the blood, and you have... They're saying they are fundamentally changing the IP. You're going to have to forgive this example. It's like RoboCop. RoboCop is Diablo, and people, RoboCop's great, you know. When the guy comes out in a toxic mess, help me, and all that kind of stuff, and he's sticking the spike in his neck, and blood's going, ah! And then RoboCop 3, when they made it for kids, so they're fundamentally shifting the way the IP is going to look. So it's going from a mature to a PG, if that, maybe a universal. And that is a huge change on what the IP is actually going to be to people. Because the whole aesthetic and the whole scariness of the Diablo franchise might be the reason that people are invested in it. That's one of the reasons what they really like. They really like the gothic. They really like the darkness. They really like the kind of scariness and the disturbing imagery. It's why we like watching horror movies. It's like why we love playing scary games and survival horror games. It's something that just kind of gets the blood pumping. You see something and you're just like, that's just grotesque. It just plays on our fears. It plays on our understanding of mortality as well. But suddenly to say, well, now everyone's just going to hug each other. We're going to hit you, but it's not necessarily going to be in blood. And if it's appealing to China, they're probably, they may or may not. But we're fundamentally changing the core aspect of what the game is, which is a mature title, now to a PG. And that is a big tonal shift in the product.
But one of the real and the main reasons that we're bringing Diablo Immortal to phones...
I'm going to stop this right here. And I'm going to put it back and we're going to listen to that again. So we cannot take this out of context. Once more we're feeling.
One of the real and the main reasons that...
One of the real and main reasons. Now that is quite telling, because when somebody says one of the real reasons why we're doing this, entails that you've told not so real a reason. And I'll go into what I think is the not so real a reason in a moment. But again, let's just put that right back to the start and hear this all the way through now. So again, so we don't take anything out of context.
But one of the real and the main reasons that we're bringing Diablo Immortal to phones is that it gives us the opportunity to introduce Diablo to a much broader audience around the world that play games now, many of them primarily on their phones, and in North America, a younger audience that play games, many of them primarily on their phones.
Okay. So what Alan is saying, and I don't think this can be taken out of context at all, is the real reason, because going up on stage and trying to pitch Diablo Immortal to your PC audience, they weren't the audience. They were there, but they weren't pitching the product to those people. He's just said that. He's down here again, isn't he? He's down here. He just said that. He just said the real reason and the primary reason why we're bringing Diablo Immortal to phones, to mobile, is to appeal to a new audience in the East and a younger audience in the US, in the West, who are playing on mobile devices. So they knew that the audience at BlizzCon wasn't who they were trying to pitch the product to. So again, it just kind of beggars belief of why it was announced at BlizzCon, why it wasn't announced in a more appropriate venue, an avenue. Maybe if I'm trying to see the flip side of this, maybe they thought, hey, let's take a gamble. Let's take a gamble. This is our PC audience. This product isn't for them. It's for the East and it's for kids. Because we're fundamentally changing it from a mature to a kiddie title. Let's take a gamble on maybe converting some of these people to the license. Maybe they'll gravitate towards it. It's a risk, but maybe they'll gravitate towards it. Who knows? We might get, wow, great idea. Great idea, Blizzard. We never thought of that. That's a great idea. Maybe they thought they'd take a risk. A risk that I don't think by the reaction has paid off. Now, I can absolutely understand why you want to try and get a new audience. I understand why, grow an audience, I should say. Not a new audience, that's what they're trying to get. I can understand trying to grow an audience, appeal to new people, to new avenues, to shine more light on your product. But when you are being so distant from your core audience, you're just going to get backlash. That's all you're going to get. Because you are purposely creating a product not designed for them. You're creating a product in a hope. It's like you have a barrel of fish on a boat. And you would rather risk that barrel of fish and throw the net into the ocean and see what you can get from there. While the barrel of fish, the fish keep jumping out and going back into the sea and jumping out, going back. But it's just like, it's okay because we're tossing these nets out. We'll get loads more. And it's coming at the potential expense of what you already have. So I get that you want to expand your audience, but the way that you've actually preached it is that it wasn't meant for the target Diablo audience. It's meant for a completely new one. And that has got to be pretty depressing for Diablo players. It's got to be pretty depressing. Now, it goes on a little bit, and then Wyatt Cheng comes in, and I am going to paraphrase Wyatt Cheng, because he, in essence, just says, well, we announced it at BlizzCon, and didn't quite get the reaction we hoped, but people who came to the booth and actually got their hands on the product said that it was really good and they loved it. And he's super excited. Everything's super with Wyatt. Wyatt, this is what the queues were like. Let's just get rid of me for a second. I know most people would want to. This was after the presentation and after the what's next. Virtually nobody came to the Diablo Immortal. And these aren't the only images. There are more images out there on the internet. Look, there's a few people playing here. There's a few people playing here. Rows of empty. No queue. You're walking straight in. Maybe these people did enjoy it. Maybe they did enjoy it. I'm not debating that they didn't. But the simple fact is, the interest levels were not there. So maybe these are your diehards, or maybe it is a decent product, but people just aren't willing to give it a shot because that is not the product that they want. They want the PC-based one. So we'll end with this next bit.
For our diehard PC fans, we will say though, we still have multiple Diablo teams working on multiple unannounced Diablo projects. So we haven't forgotten about them. The future is bright. Stay tuned.
Now, this is where we get the issue that we had yesterday. Alan says, we've got multiple teams working on multiple Diablo projects, but we've got nothing to announce. And then you had yesterday Jason Schreier write the article saying that Blizzard were going to show off a Diablo 4 teaser at BlizzCon, but chose not to. Then, miraculously, Blizzard, who don't respond to these type of things, suddenly said, we don't respond to these type of things, but we're going to respond to this one. We had no plans to do that. No plans to do that at all. And then Jason Schreier adjusts his article, says, well, they've got the video. Why they didn't show it, I don't know, but they've got the video. And this is sounding more and more just like we're trying to take the Diablo Immortal talk out of the equation and push it back to the Diablo 4, because that's what people want to hear. So it's trying to implant in people's brains, oh, there is a Diablo 4 video. It's there. It's ready to go. The likelihood is there isn't. I would say that the likelihood is there is no Diablo 4 video. They might frantically be working on one right now, just a teaser, anything. But I don't think the video exists. I don't think it existed at BlizzCon. I think this is potential collusion between the parties to try and get the idea that Diablo 4 is coming. It is coming. It's not quite ready to show. It is coming. We've got something to show. A little bit, maybe, maybe not. And it's just trying to keep that idea that it's coming and it's coming over all of this mobile business that's going on. So as a predominant PC audience, Blizzard have said today, I mean, Alan he's a co-founder of Blizzard, and he said today that the developers are moving away from PCs themselves and playing mobiles. They're moving their best developers off PC titles into mobile titles for all platforms. WoW, maybe. StarCraft, maybe. Heroes of the Storm, maybe. Hearthstone's already there. Diablo we already know about. They're moving their best developers off the PC projects. So there's some interesting terminology being used here. The real reason and the true reason that they put Diablo Immortal onto mobile phones was to appeal to a young Western audience and to appeal to the East, but not to the people that they came out on stage to at BlizzCon. Ouch. I'd be very interested to hear what Diablo fans and Blizzard fans have to say about this in the comment section down below. Do you like Blizzard's desire to move from PC into more mobile areas, or does Blizzard need to stick with what they're good at, which is PC IPs? And do you think the future is mobile? Or do you think the future will be, for a predominant period of time, PC/console may be based? I'm of the belief that even though phones are getting stronger and they are looking nicer and they can do powerful things, just the whole aspect of the touch and it just doesn't work for me. It just doesn't work for me personally. But maybe I'm a relic. Maybe I'm a relic of my age and I don't see the future. Who knows? But I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming links. They're in the description box down below. And I'll be back. I'm patting my boys. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.